let's talk a little bit about Electric Company.
hmm
What exactly is it, and what inspired you to start that project?
Um, the rock group was formed in 2006, early 2006, and I was playing a lot of rock guitar for a number of years. Again, I was going back to playing a lot of contemporary music, but on rock guitar, which in New York that's very common here. Like there's a lot of contemporary music on electric guitar. Sometimes with rock sounds, sometimes with jazz sounds, but there's a lot of people writing scored music for the instrument, you know?
Hmm.
So I was getting into that scene and playing a bunch of things and doing some solo concerts. And then one day it just hit me that I just thought, instead of like having composers write for solo guitar, I'd really rather have them write for a rock band, which would be a hell of a lot easier for me. I mean, solo electric guitar is a difficult endeavor, you know.
Yeah.
Classical guitar itself is a difficult endeavor. Solo electric guitar has also got its, issues. But I thought it'd be fun if composers, modern composers, especially people who grew up with rock like I did, and who know the instruments, if they had some kind of group that they could then write for and experiment with the ideas from their compositional minds, but on those kinds of instruments, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought, well, let's try it, And we commissioned a few people and had a few very, very amazingly creative pieces come out of it. So, so it's been kind of fun, and right now I'm probably more doing the classical right now. I've really kind of fallen back in love with it. So I don't know where the band's going to exactly lead, but it's like I said, just it's been a lot of fun, and the musicians are just great,
Yeah, it's an interesting project, and I don't think anybody else is really doing that sort of thing at the moment. But
Um, no, I don't think so. And the thing is about Electric Company is, although we work with composers, we tend to lean toward really a rock sound. So a lot of people don't really perceive it as, like quote unquote contemporary music. I mean, it can kind of fit in that bill, but really it's just like ultra progressive rock. I mean, that's the way most people kind of see it.
yeah,
It's just very complicated. Um, but it's a lot of fun, and when things are clicking and, playing up on a stage and, through a Marshall, it's fun. I mean, I gotta admit. It's a different fun than the classical. The classical is much more kind of like meditative and, it's got this kind of beauty. And the rock thing, it's this kind of power and groove because it's four guys, so we're all, rhythmically matching each other. So it's this collective groove thing that, you lock into.
I'd like to ask if you have any tips for aspiring guitarists, or I'll put it another way. You've worked with a lot of students, so what would you say that is a really common weakness for guitarists to have? And it can be anything really, technique, musicality, stuff like that.
Well, I just wrote about it on the blog, which is the whole inner ear issue. I think that's really the fundamental. If you are learning a piece and you can't just kind of sing it freely, and see your left hand moving and all that, I would say that you want to work on that, working on the inner ear by singing and singing the piece while you play it, and I still do that,
Yeah.
I mean, that was told to me a long time ago, and I still do that, and it just brings things out, and your ear gets better, and solidifying how it sounds inside your head, and then going after that. That's really the best advice.
Gotcha.
And you can see kids that do it, because like I've got a kid, and I'm not, he's not my child, but I mean, he takes lessons with me. He's 10 years old. He's a very talented little boy. And, I'll say, I want it to sound like this, and we'll talk about it. And he'll really listen to what I'm saying. And he'll imitate that. Now, ultimately, what he's imitating is he thinks he's imitating me, but really he's memorizing what I'm doing and keeping it in his head, and he's following himself. The next week he comes and he plays it in time, and it's because he memorized what we were feeling, you know?
Yeah, memorize the sounds more than just the notes on the page.
Exactly, and that doing that, all the notes on the page have a sense of reason.
Yeah.
You know, and if they do have a sense of reason, then it's a lot easier to remember them.